All right, yo, what's up? We're back for a part two. We had to cut the first one short because the time limit was reaching. But we last time we were speaking about the videos you had, so we touched on camera, we touched on lighting, then we touched on sound effects and stuff like that. One thing about filmmaking that's really interesting to me is the freedom you sort of have to not even freedom, but it's more so like the open world you have to kind of play and create whatever you want, basically. Like when it comes to documentary, of course you're focusing on a subject, right? But do you still go into a documentary shoot thinking that, I'm going to shoot this in a very artistic way or a certain way and kind of have a creative direction you want to go with it?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I first started doing documentary, I didn't think about the creative direction or how it should look, or even like what would the music be like, or what's the tone of this film, right? I didn't think about that. I was just excited to be a part of it.
Right.
And only honestly in the last 2 years I've really been thinking about that. I put out a film last year, just actually during COVID, funny enough, for CBC called Graffiti: The Art That Changes the City. And that's the first time I really kind of took a stab at doing everything myself. And I really did try to keep them, like I planned on what the music was kind of going to be like. I had it styled after the early New York graffiti films that were made, like early hip hop days. So I used a lot of like, I guess it would have been like 80s hip hop or like late 70s.
Okay.
And kind of like breakdancing era. And that's when the graffiti started. So I really tried to, with that film, I wanted it to look a certain way. I wanted to feel a certain way. I wanted to sound a certain way. And I was really proud that I was able to do that. And looking back, there's a lot of things now I would do even more different. Like I'm becoming more and more aware of how I want the films to be stylized and how I want the cinematography to be and how I want it to stay consistent.
Right.
And what do I want the sounds to be like? And what do I want what stories do I want to tell? Like literally in the last couple of months, I was telling my wife over at breakfast, I was just like, I'm really feel like a lot of freedom. I'm feeling a lot of freedom lately because I feel like I'm starting to realize the types of films I want to make.
Right.
Rather than like, when you first go into film school or you just start out, you're like, I'll just be happy to make anything.
Yeah.
Where now I'm really excited because, like, for the first time, like, I don't care to make that.
Right.
Like, I'm actually caring about, like, and it's not, like, yeah, I want to make a living, but, like, for the first time, I'm excited to, like, find these man on a mission stories and, like, these types of films that actually, like, make me excited.
Yeah.
And so I hope that answers your question, but
No,
yeah,
it's
an exciting time because I'm coming into, I feel like, a new stage.
Yeah. Do you feel that kind of drives you more on a daily than rather than feeling like you're forced to do something?
You mean like paid work?
Well, you know how you said like earlier in university you were just kind of doing whatever just to get the gig.
100%.
But now that you're focusing more on doing what you want to do you think you have more of a drive to do the work you're doing?
Yes, definitely. Like I have a real strong desire, and I feel a great deal of urgency to keep this ball rolling in terms of like my film career, and I have to make every film more meaningful and better than the last one. So like I just put out a film and I was really proud of it at the moment, but now I'm looking back and yeah, I'm still proud, but like I'm like, man, like I can do better than that.
Right.
And that's an exciting place to be.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like earlier on, I would have just been, I kind of would have rested on that for a while. I'd be like, yeah, this is like, I'm pretty sick that I made that. But now I'm like, no, it's like, I hope I get another opportunity to make something even more cinematic and something even more, I hope the story is more powerful and reaches a wider audience.
Right.
So that's really my drive and ambition right now. And yeah, it is easier to do it when you're driven by passion rather than when you're just like, I'll happy to take anything. Right? But it's different stages though.
Of course.
It's hindsight, right?
Now, let's talk about the band a little bit too.
Sure.
Because now obviously filmmaking is one thing, music is another thing.
Yeah.
Right? When you were in the band, did a part of you rather feel like I'm just gonna stick with the band, or did you always feel like I'm just doing this temporarily? I know my ultimate goal is filmmaking.
Yeah, I was kind of lost when I was in the band in the way that I can say it now because I've thought about it a long time. I was definitely following the lead singer of the band, Michael Hargreaves, who I'm still friends with today, more acquaintances, and but I was definitely following his, like I was riding his coattails.
Right.
If I'm looking back on it, I learned a lot about. There was a lot of great things I learned in the band, like technically, like audio-wise, like
Right.
being in studios and stuff like that, and being signed with a label, and just
Wow.
learning on a professional level,
Yeah.
how things are recorded and stuff like that. So that really translated well after the band going into video,
Right.
and how music plays such a big part in video.
Of course.
But the band days was really, if I'm looking back, it was like I really didn't know what I was doing, and I think I was scared to
Okay.
do my own thing. I was
Yeah.
scared to start my own like video company.
Right.
Scared to like put myself out in front. So I think I'm grateful I took the chance, but I definitely followed. That was like a following period in my life.
Yeah.
And I eventually got sick of it, and I was like, I can't, I was clearly unhappy in the band towards the end, which obviously the band ended up breaking up because there was a lot of internal things, like, but as most bands deal with, right? You're dealing with different relationships, and
For sure.
you change over the years and stuff like that.
For
So
sure.
I had become unhappy and like complacent,
Right.
right? And I was just like, I can't keep following this. Like I have to create my own thing.
Yeah.
And once the band ended and I created my video company, I was like, I'm never going to allow myself to be so dependent on somebody else.
Okay.
And nothing against, like I said, like the lead singer at all. It's just, I think we make our own choices, and it was important for me to take charge of my own life, right? And like take my own risks.
Yep.
And just like not lean on other people.
Absolutely.
So I try to do that with my relationships now, like with other directors. Like it's so easy to be like, oh, I hope they just keep giving me gigs.
Yeah.
But now I have to be like, no, those gigs can come and go.
Yeah.
Just like the world can have a pandemic, and
Yeah.
shit's gonna happen. So I need to be able to stand on my own 2 feet
Right.
if shit goes bad. And it's been a huge lesson for me.
That's really interesting
Yeah.
to say, man, because I looked at it in a similar perspective, and hearing it from someone else, like I've talked to several people, about like taking the leap per se.
Yeah.
And a lot of this time, the common response was, it's scary to do it. I don't know if I can. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hearing the I don't knows that made me want to be like, okay, you're right. I don't know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But hearing
yeah.
someone else say, I just said, I'm going to take the risk. It's, I don't know what the word is, but it's like, it's a good feeling to hear. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think we can relate to each other on that level, right? Like,
100%.
because we're both like taking a chance here, like you with your podcast, and you just going to university for film.
Yeah.
Like most people, I'm sure you got so tired of hearing it. It's like, what are you gonna do with that, or
Yeah.
how are you gonna ever make it?
Absolutely.
I just don't like, dude. I just don't like. I've gotten to the point. I think you should stop telling people. Like, I think Bob Dylan talks about it. He's like, if you have a dream, you shouldn't share it with too many people, because people will fuck it up and destroy it.
100%.
So you should just whisper it, like gently,
Yeah.
and tell it to only trusted people, because like, you gotta guard and protect that, because it's hard enough to do this,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Being creative and trying to make a living out of it is very in your own head all the time place. Like, I don't know about you, man, but like, it's sometimes I'm just like sitting in bed, I'm like, I gotta stop thinking about the next video.
Dude, yeah.
Or I
There's
gotta
some
stop.
days I wake up and I'm just like, oh, fuck all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. Yes, my wife, they happen like a couple times a year around the same time, and I just like go into this thing where I have like posters of films I've worked on in my office, and like I have my old band accolades, like that, things like old, like tons of news clippings and frames.
Right.
And every once in a while she'll come down to the studio and all the frames are down. And I'm like, oh, she's like, oh, you're going through
One of
something
those
right now.
days.
She's like, you're trying to restart or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to have these posters up anymore. Like, who cares about all this stuff? I don't want to do this. It's too hard.
Yeah.
And she's like, you'll be fine tomorrow. And that's usually what happens. It's natural to have self-doubt, especially in this business, just because there's a lot of people that work in this business. That's the funny thing. There's millions of people in the film industry around the world, but it's just hard to see it. Like, everyone goes and sees films, but a lot of people don't have the guts to actually go and chase those down, because it takes a lot of sacrifice.
100%. Yeah, man. It's That's a good word to use, a sacrifice, because it's true. Like the stuff people go through, and not even them as individuals, stuff their families go through trying to deal with it too. Like I know some friends who've missed funerals and special occasions because they're on a shoot that's not in the country.
That's it's fucked up, right? Yeah. But it's how it is.
It's how the business is, and it sounds fucked up to say even that alone.
Yeah, and I like admitting these things now. When Matt Gallagher gave me that advice when I first started, he's like, you got to, because I remember he asked me to be on a shoot, and I was like, you know what, let me get back to you tomorrow. And he's like, no. He's like, dude, he's like, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody in this business, most of the time, I mean, there are the few people that are lucky enough to say, like, okay, let me get back to you. He's like, but this is your chance. It's like, you got to you got to be in or out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, damn. He's like, you got to get ready to miss your kid's birthday. Yeah. You got to get ready to miss your anniversary. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking crazy, man. That's harsh. I was like, really? And, I haven't had to miss that yet, but like it does put some, every time I have a gig, even to this day, like my wife's super supportive. She's the best. But I'm still nervous when I have to tell her, like, I'm going to have to go for a week or something. Yeah. I'm like, it's stressful for the family. You're right. That's a good point, man. Yeah. But that's the game.
That's the game.
And it hasn't changed for me. So
has there ever been an instance where you have hired crew to work under you?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, in those instances, based off what you said, what Matt Gallagher said,
have
you ever gotten a response from people that's like, I'll let you know in a couple days, or let me see what my schedule is. I really want to, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah. I'm not as bold as Matt Gallagher.
That pisses me off, bro.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm pretty lenient, actually, and I need to learn to be less. It should piss you off.
I don't know if I'm reacting in the right way, and if I should react more like how you are.
I think you have to judge each situation differently.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, everyone's different. But yeah, I basically, if someone's given me the like, oh, I don't know, I'm like, well, you're not gonna, I'm probably not gonna call you back.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna get hired by me again.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that with a couple people too. When they hit me with the I don't know, and I'm like, okay, the shoot's still like 2 months away. I can have some leniency.
Yeah, there is some examples.
Yeah.
But it's a weird line.
It's odd, bro, because if the shoot's 3 weeks away, not even 3 weeks, let's say 2 weeks away,
and
someone hits me with the I'm not sure, I'll let you know. It's like, no, I'm already finding other people because I can't have this I don't know and gamble with this.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, if you're trying to get in this industry and you don't really know if you want to be in there, you probably shouldn't. You should probably, I don't know, you got to go figure that out. But you have to be ready to say yes. Yeah. I get calls. I got a call last week to be ready to go this week to New York for two weeks to go film. And I was like, yep. I actually get back. I get back so fast. It's not good. Like I'm learning to like just wait a second.
What do you mean?
Like because my friend told me a really interesting thing. He's like, you gotta like set a precedent for you don't reply right away. That's better than I don't know.
Right.
Right? Like just wait an hour or something to get back sometimes. Not if you're first trying to get into it.
Yeah.
I think like now that I am in it, I have to set a new precedent because I have a family. Right. So I do have to ride this line of like, I'm always ready to work, but I'm not going to reply right away.
Right.
Like I'm having dinner.
Gotcha.
And then after dinner, I'm going to look at it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? But at the beginning, I said yes to everything.
100%.
And sometimes that bit me, but most of the time it paid off. You have to be ready to work. You have to be willing to drop money sometimes on new equipment to get the jobs. You have to be willing to just like the classic fake it till you make it shit. Yeah. Yes, I know how to work a Ronin. Yes, I know how to do whatever. I don't know, whatever gear it is. You just say yes and then Google it and figure it out.
Right.
So be ready to sacrifice your free time.
Yeah, that's interesting because you have a video, again, I'm going to reference another video where you're like, like sometimes you have those days where you just don't want to do it, but sometimes you just have to go. And I like what you just said right now about not replying right away too, because I know I was in that position. I do that now sometimes too, where I'm like, as soon as I see a message, it's like, hey, do you do X, Y, and Z? It's like, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. Now I got to wait.
Yeah. And it's like, because now everyone thinks you're the guy that gets back right away. And they like that. Mm-hmm. But that means you have to keep that up.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a point where I can't keep it up anymore.
Yeah.
Like I can't fucking jump on it right away. Mm-hmm. I just can't. I want to, but I can't because I do have other responsibilities now with a family.
Exactly.
Before I didn't have a family. I was just married, and my wife was like, yeah, you go when you got to go.
Yeah.
So that was great. But you just have to adjust as you go. So if you're going to be the yes man, just know that people are going to expect that from you all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's going to get tiring. So it's probably better to be the yes man, but just wait a half an hour before you say yes. Literally, like 20 minutes even. Just like, there's something to be said about sleeping on things too.
Yeah.
But you got to ride that line. That's a confusing topic.
It's great though, because like obviously there's people who don't get back at all, and I'd rather reply right away. I'd rather reply right away than be the one who says like, I forgot.
And you don't want to miss the opportunity.
That's another worry. It's like, I don't know if I reply right now. What if somebody else gets it in the next 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Because I've seen that happen too.
Yeah. So you do have to get. I think you just have to grow to get to the point where you're like, if I lose it, I lose it. And you have to be willing to accept that.
Yeah.
I'm much more happy knowing that everyone now knows that, well, I'm probably not going to get back right away, but I can depend on Sasha. He does a great job, and he's never late, and he doesn't screw up. And if he does screw up, he apologizes and never does it again, which I've done many times. And so you just have to you have to paint a picture for people about you.
Right.
And it's very important. That first impression, you're gonna have to carry that on, and you just maybe have to tweak it along the way, right?
That's a really interesting factor too. I never really considered that myself. That's really, really helpful tip. I've taken quite a few tips from your videos, Sasha.
Sick, man.
I'm gonna be honest.
Good, man. Yeah, I'm really pushing the YouTube right now. I think YouTube's the future.
That big cross dissolve thing where you said use the Bezier as opposed to just the regular cross dissolve has saved my ass.
Really?
I'm not even kidding you.
It's a slight difference, but
it helps so
different.
much.
Yeah.
I love that video. I was gonna talk about something. Give me 1 second to pull the video up here. Okay, so you also have some videos on your page. They're not just like tutorials on how to do this and that, but you have some like, I guess, inspirational videos in a way. You can say like, if you need a break, take a break, or if you don't get pissed off at something so easy, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to there's something about the vlog, like the cutesy Neistat videos, and like that whole realm that's documentary to me.
Okay.
And like I do like being on camera. Because I'm a little vain, and I do enjoy it. Like the band for me, like being on stage is fun for me. Like I like the attention, and I'm okay with admitting that. But that's where vlogging. So I do feel like the future of my YouTube will not just be like obviously the tips that I learn in the field, like professionally, but I want to share more of myself. I want to treat myself like a documentary more, and it's just really hard to do because it's weird changing the camera angles and like at the same time being yourself.
Right.
That's what I'm learning through YouTube. It's the best thing. Like I'm learning how to actually be myself, and that's a really weird thing to say at 35. But
no, I don't think there's a time frame on that, to be honest.
I appreciate that. For me, I wish I would have started sooner because it's been a real like man in the mirror experience for me. Like watching myself back and editing myself I am more compassionate for people when I film them. Yeah. Because I know it sucks being in front of the camera sometimes. And it's awkward. Yeah. Right? It doesn't really get easy. The one thing that is starting to shed, I've been a year in YouTube now. This year, I really feel like the way I'm talking on camera is really just myself. Yeah. Like I'm still a very high energy person, but like at the beginning, I was like trying to do like Peter McKinnon shit. And I was getting like, I don't know what I was still fucking doing. But
the intro to your videos are pretty fire, not gonna lie.
Sure, but it's kind of Peter McKinnon-y.
Yeah, I'll admit, but it looks good.
I have some plans. I'm gonna be doing a new intro, like which adds more of my humor. Like I'm a funny guy. Yeah. I'm gonna have, how I'm like, I walk into the chair really cool and like stick my hair back. I'm gonna do an intro, but the same intro, like really cool, but the chair is gonna break. Yeah. Like in slow motion. Okay. Like, fuck. Okay. So I'm gonna be changed. The YouTube channel is really just gonna start becoming more myself, as I become more comfortable with learning how to film myself and edit myself and create those videos.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like I said to you off camera too, like the reason I started doing these interviews was kind of get comfortable talking on camera. Yeah. In case the opportunity ever came up and needed to do something. Because after that CBC thing, bro, I was a fucking wreck.
Is that what made you start doing it?
I'm not even kidding. That was part of it.
It's a great reason to do it.
It was a part of it. I was already doing it before then, but that kind of made me want to get into it a lot more. and just do it frequently, because the whole thing in my head was this is gonna be seen nationwide.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get that fucking thought out of my head the entire time I was being asked questions. That's how I was fucking I was talking like this, and like it was fucked up.
You know, I should watch mine back. I'm sure because now doing the YouTube is like so much more natural.
Yeah.
You're really natural, just talking. You must have learned a lot in the last 34 episodes.
30. I think this is episode 34, 35, yeah.
You must have learned a lot about yourself,
bro.
Right?
I watch back my very first interview every now and again, too, just to compare.
What is it like? Is it so different?
I'm sitting very stern. So,
yeah?
So tell me about this. And I don't like that. I like a more free-flow conversation. Laugh, have fun, joke.
Yeah.
Okay, now before we do wrap up here.
Sure, man.
I have had my fair share of what I call ghetto rigs.
Oh, fuck. I think we all have.
I really liked what you did with the bike pump in the camera.
Thanks, man. I thought that video was going to...
sick.
See, I was trying to be real, like, hack videos.
Yeah.
I was because I just started YouTube. I was like, oh, Peter McKinnon, I could do stuff like that. And I've done one with the hat too. But anyway, yeah, I thought the bike pump was actually, I was actually like, this is legitimately working well.
Yeah. So for those that haven't seen, obviously, just give it a brief rundown of what it was.
Yeah. So I discovered that the bike pump, I'm sure everyone's discovered this. I always end up playing with the bike pump. You know, the handle goes slowly down, but if you tape off the end and you suffocate the air, block the air better more, it'll go down even slower. And I was like, oh, I could use this as kind of a hack if you want to do like kind of what would it be, like a crane down or?
Sure.
What is that?
It would be.
It's not a crane down, but yeah, I guess it is.
It'd be a crane down shot. It's like kind of a slide. It wouldn't be a slide.
It's a slide down technically.
I don't fucking know.
There's no such thing. No one's invented the slider that goes up and down. Oh, no, I guess you can. Yeah.
The crane.
Anyway, no. Anyway, fuck it. Anyway, I thought it'd be a good idea to put my DSLR. Like I shot this like kind of like one-shot beer commercial, just with the DSLR sliding down with the bike pump. Yeah. So that was fun, but I do really actually like the idea of like finding fun ways to film. I just need to do it in a way that it's myself.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm not there yet, but I'd say the last 4 or 5 videos that I've put on YouTube are really feeling like myself.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to redo the intro. And
they're really cool to watch. When you watch it,
man.
It feels like I'm not watching, like it feels like I'm watching someone authentic. Does that make sense?
Man. That makes me really happy because I've been really trying to make them not only interesting and jam-packed, full of information, but like I'm really trying to fucking be myself. Like I'm really like I sit down in the chair before I do these, and I'm just like I try to get it out. I'm like, get out all that like whoever you're trying to be right now, and like the way we're talking right now, I feel like I can hear myself right now doing a vlog, and it would be similar to this right now.
Right,
yeah,
100%. Now, sorry, it's just small details that really get on my nerves, and that just reminded me with the whole crane up and down thing.
Oh yeah, well,
when the camera goes like this, up and down. Okay.
Tilt.
When people call it a pan up and down,
it
bothers me.
You need to go to.
It bothers me. So
well, yeah, it should. Because that's not a pan.
But I've heard it on professional sets when I've been in Toronto.
Yeah, well, they should be fired. No, I'm joking.
It bothers me, bro. It's like pan up and down. It's just like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Man. And that just might be just my OCD or something, but it's something about that really gets under my
No, man. I mean, there's a reason why we have these terms. Yeah. It's so we can all communicate the same thing. Yeah. So it's like, you got to know your shit. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe they just messed up, but
once is a mistake, twice is a consequence, is a coincidence.
Yeah.
3 times or more, you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. You got to know your pan and your tilt. There's a difference. Pan, tilt. Tilt is like obvious. I don't know how you can screw that up.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the pan, I don't even know where that term would come from. Pan.
Pans left and right. I don't freaking know. Maybe with the pan when I don't know.
The pan? Frying
an egg or some shit.
Yeah.
Now you did the beer commercial. You did the I guess the Sport Check style commercial.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing spec commercials and then possibly working for brands doing commercials for them?
Oh yeah, like I would love to do more brand commercials. That's part of the reason I did the basketball thing.
Yeah.
I would love to do more sports stuff, even though I don't play sports at all. I just think it's really fun to film like athletes doing what they do really well.
Gotcha.
Anybody doing something really well is fun to film because it's like it's like watching magic, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how to do that, but this is great to watch. So that's how I feel like Tom was good enough in the video. Tom from Fog, he did the basketball. He was a basketball player for the commercial.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah, he's like actually really good at basketball.
He was talented.
And I was like, this is really fun to film. And I was like, I would love to do more like this. So I think in the future you're going to see, I'm going to be doing more spec-ish kind of things like this for the videos in hopes that I can just keep practicing doing it. So when I get the opportunity, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, Sasha, thank you so much for coming out, man. This was a fun conversation.
Man, I had a great time. This is really fun to talk with you.
I love doing this, and I definitely want to sit down and just talk more, maybe even work some stuff in the future. Like, this was great.
100%, man. Yeah, have me back anytime you want.
Yeah, man. So just let the people know where they can find you, man. On like social.
Sure,
We
man.
talked about your YouTube a whole lot, so I'll
Yeah,
plug that.
literally, it's just Sasha. Everything is Sasha Jordan Appler. Or applerfilm.com. So just Google Sasha Jordan Appler. You'll find my website with all my professional work, or my YouTube is Sasha Jordan Appler, Instagram Sasha Jordan Appler, Facebook Sasha Jordan Appler.
Perfect.
So yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate
no problem, man. And thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Sik Saleem. You can follow me on Instagram at Sik Saleem, Twitter Sik Saleem, Facebook Six Visions Media. All the links are in the description below for me and Sasha. I'll post them all there. Subscribe to this YouTube page, like this video, and leave a comment on what you thought of this interview. This was a long one, so this is gonna be a two-parter probably. I might just squeeze it onto one. I don't know. I'll figure what I'm gonna do. But you guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next time.